everybody, welcome back to part 2 of our cooler build, and welcome back to DIY Boomboxes in Texas. Now, if you haven't seen part 1 yet, what we're doing is we're making a build here for you first time boombox builders, and we're just making a simple Bluetooth only boombox. And what we've got done so far is we've gone ahead and drilled the holes for the speakers, and we have the components installed up top. We still need to put a little hole right here for the connector, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that in just a minute. So what we're going to do right now, again, if you haven't seen part 1, I'd say go back and watch part 1 of how to build a Bluetooth cooler, and this is going to be part 2. So looking forward to having you guys here. Now what we need to do here, we need to go ahead and find the right drill bit for this right here. And I can tell you what size you need here. I've got my little sheet thing right here that I've been using. And where is that hole for the, here we go. Now you guys, I meant to tell you, instead of using the paddle bits, you can also use these step bits right here as well. They work really good for plastic. And so they work really well, and they don't make as much of a mess as the step bits. Let's see right here what we got. That is 5/16. So what's the one before that? Yeah, so we need a 5/16 drill bit to make the hole right here. And again, you can use a step drill, just got to be real careful not to go too far. But it looks like 5/16 is the right size that we need to drill this hole. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our drill, and we're going to go ahead and use our little center punch right here. I'm just going to put it right here in the corner like that. And let's go get a drill and go ahead and move it up to the faster setting, and go ahead and line it up right there and drill the hole. Drill bit's been acting crazy on me lately. Let's try that again here. Okay. Now again, because this is in 2 pieces, you're not going to be able to get the nut on there, so we're going to have to make this hole right here a little bit larger. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. You can actually use a paddle bit for that, and that's what we're going to do. So let me put this drill back in here. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a 7/8 drill bit, and because this is in 2 pieces right here, we're just going to enlarge this bottom hole right here so we can get our fingers in there and get the nut on there. Now you can also use a small hole saw as well, and I had some hole saws around here. I don't know what in the world I did with them. Wait a minute, is that it? No, that's a Dremel. Well, shoot. Well, let's go ahead and show something you guys would have around the house anyway. So let's go ahead and drill this hole out. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and pop this off, because it's just going to be a lot easier to do it laying it flat right here. I'm just going to drill real slowly. Now see, you wouldn't have to do this if it wasn't 2 layers. If it was just a single layer, then like for instance, let me use this old boombox right here as an example. You can see right here, you've got the hole right here, and you'd be able to put the nut on right there with no problem. But the problem is, this is 2 layers of plastic, so we got to cut through the second layer of plastic so we get to the first layer to put the nut on. And you'll see what I mean in just a minute. But you want to go real slowly and real carefully here. Well, that's going to make a liar out of me. Come on now. Tell you what, let's see here. There we go. Alright, we broke can see firsthand what a mess these paddle bits actually make when you're cutting plastic. So we're going to go ahead and get that out of there. And problem is that piece is in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this one out so we can see if we can get that piece of plastic out of there. Oh, the fun part about building boomboxes, huh? Come on. I don't want those pieces all rattling around in there. There we go, popped out. See, got the piece out. But you see what I'm talking about right there? How we had to make the larger hole so we can be able to get the nut on right there. And it's going to go through just like that, and then we'll be able to put the nut on right there. Sounds like we still got some more plastic in there, so let's see if we can get this out of here. Come on now. More pieces flying out. I might pop these switches out to see if we can get more area for the plastic to fall out there. It's coming. You have to bear with me. I tell you what, let me go ahead and turn this off and get this plastic out of here. We'll move on to the next step. No reason you guys sit here watching me make a mess. So we'll be right back. Okay, everybody. I'm back, and we're going to do a little bit of soldering right here. And don't be intimidated. Soldering is not that hard. All you're doing is soldering is like a basic form of lightweight welding, because we're actually going to physically attach the wires to this part right here. Now, you can use a soldering iron, which is more precise. They do stay hot for a very long time. I use a soldering gun. They're not as precise, but they get hot really quick and they cool off really quick. And I'm not doing very much soldering, so it works out perfect. If you do a lot of soldering, you'll want to invest in a soldering iron. I do have one, but again, I really just don't have a use for it. Real quick, I know I'm probably going to get some questions. People are probably wondering what these numbers are on my board here, and why there's an X right here. Now, this is my little cheat sheet here. This is the number correspondence for a 14-pin relay. If you've seen my other videos about relays, you know, each pin is numbered on a relay, and this is for an 8-pin relay. So I know which is normally closed positive, normally open, the output, and which ones do the power. It's just like a little quick cheat sheet for me. And the little X right here is what I use to align the camera. So I put the X in the center of the area I want to record, so I know what you guys are seeing, because I can't see the camera way up there. So anyway, here we go. We're going to go ahead and clamp this real quick in this clamp that I have here. And I don't know how well you guys can see that. Let me see if I can zoom in on that a little closer. And so you guys can see the little pins there, see what I'm doing. And what we're going to do is, first thing I like to do is go ahead and put a little bit of solder on the pins here. And the shorter pin is going to be positive. And I just go ahead and order this little bit of solder right here. So go ahead and click on the gun. The light used to come on, but I need to get a new bulb for it. This soldering iron is about 25 years old, this soldering gun, but it still works. Got it at Radio Shack. So I'm going to go ahead and put some solder on the inside, because you want to be able to get that nut over the threads here. So let's go ahead and touch it on and make sure it's working. And we'll go ahead and... Now you want to just touch the metal part, and it's going to heat the part up, see there? And the solder is going to flow on there. So now we're going to go ahead and heat the other side up. So we're going to turn it around. And just touch the metal part with the soldering iron, and it should make sure I don't get my own light here. Melt the solder on the metal here. There we go. Now what I like to do is what we call tinning the wire. Copper tends to absorb heat, so let me get this out of the shot, put this right here in the shot. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and clamp these in place. And these little clamps are great, especially when you're doing something. Now you can get a little soldering set if you do a lot of soldering. But again, I just use these little clamps right here, and then the wires down a little bit. We're going to go what's called tinning the wire, and it just puts a little coat of solder, because it's easier to stick solder to solder than trying to stick the bare copper to the solder, because the copper absorbs the heat from the soldering iron and it makes it harder to attach. So we'll go ahead and tin the wire. It doesn't take much, just want to get a little coating of solder on your wire there. There we go. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to unclamp this, and we're going to go ahead and attach the wires here. So let me go ahead and do the short one first. I want to make sure you're not in you guys' light. You can see what I'm doing here. There we go, just like that. Now, a big thing is make sure these don't touch each other, or you'll have a direct short. Let's put a little bit more solder on there, because basically what we're doing is we're trying to connect the battery charger to the actual battery through the outside. So that's what this is going to do. Okay, we've successfully got our wires on there. Well, now be careful, it's going to be a little bit hot, and so are your guns. I'm going to set the gun over here a little bit to cool off. We'll put my clamp back on the table, and let's go ahead and get the lid back over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and feed the wires through. Let me go ahead and pull the camera back so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Obviously you can't. Alright, let's try to back it up here. Oh, come on now, back up. There we go. Okay, now you guys can see what I'm doing here a little bit better. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and feed the wires through the hole we made earlier. And do it like that. Now, this video goes too long. I'll probably make it 3 parts. I haven't decided yet. And now we've got the thing on here. Go ahead and get the nut. And I've got a whole bunch of these because I buy them in bulk. And go ahead and thread your nut over the 2 wires. And pull that through there. These threads are really, really fine, so you kind of got to be careful trying to get them on there and get them started. And you can see why we made the larger hole there. Now it's on there. Now we just got to see if we can get it to catch those threads. And we're going to use some pliers to. Matter of fact, we may have to use some pliers to get it started. So let me see if I can find my needle nose pliers here. Get started on those plastic threads there. Now you could glue this in place if you wanted to. I prefer to go ahead and have it on here like this, and it's just you got to be real careful not to cross through it. I think we got it, so we're going to go ahead and try to spin it like this. There we go. Now we got it going. So we're just trying to hold it from the bottom here and see if we can't get that nut to thread on there. I would stop the video, but I'm going to have so many edits in this video already, it's going to be kind of difficult for me to put it all together. So it may be 2 or 3 days for you guys to see part 2. Because what I have to do is using my video editing software, kind of get everything together here, and cause I want you guys to have a really good video. Come on now. This thing is really giving me a hard time today. I think it's cross-threaded, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it's kind of hard when you got the plastic here. If it didn't have the double thing, there it goes. It's threading on there. Like I said, if you're doing this and it was just a flat surface, I'd be done by now. But because we had the double layer of plastic, we had to cut that extra large hole there. Let's see if we can't spin that around by hand here. It's going to act up on me, so let's see if we can't. Now I'm holding it from the bottom so I can keep the whole thing from trying to spin there. Alright, it's getting there. It's just about tight. Yeah, it's starting to spin there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put some hot glue on there anyway and kind of pull the connections apart, make sure that they're not touching. And and this is another tool you guys want to get along with the needleless pliers is get your little hot glue gun. You can get these at any hobby shop, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, wherever. And go ahead and shoot you some hot glue on those connections so they don't touch anything. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a little hot glue here just to kind of hold it in place. There we go. And we'll go ahead and let that sit. And I'll tell you what we're going to go ahead and do is while this is sitting here, we're going to go ahead and get the wires ready. So we're going to go and get some more connectors. Oh, I sure hope this is not boring. Alright, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to need 8 connectors. And we'll just keep some extra just on here. Now, I use a heavy and duty crimper. And I tell you guys, if you guys do a lot of boom boxes, this thing is absolutely fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and put our wires on here. Now, the brass terminals are going to be your ground. So you got a brass terminal, brass terminal, brass terminal. Now the reason you have 3 terminals on these switches is because these are light up LED switches. So you have one wire coming in as your hot, then you have the other wire, which is still positive, going out to your device. In this case, one wire is going to go here, and then the third wire is going to be your ground, because you have to have ground wire to be able to have the light to come on. Now speaking of wire, I go ahead and I showed you guys before, if you saw the wire holder that I built, and I think I did another video on wire, is I buy 18 gauge wire in bulk. I like 4 different colors, because that way when I'm wiring things up I can see what's going on. So anything coming from the battery, I like these black and red. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get the wires coming from the battery first. So we'll go ahead and we'll get about yay long, and get you a good pair of wire strippers as well. And we're going to go ahead and strip the wires here. And oh, somebody's calling my telephone. I wonder who that could be. Yeah, that's a friend of mine. I'll call him back in just a second. And let me go ahead and get this started. And let's go ahead and crimp that on there. And I go ahead and like to put the positive on the first terminal. Just plugs on in. And go ahead and take another red wire and just kind of get it about the same length, give or take. And there you go, that's about right. And we'll go ahead and cut that. And you don't want to strip it too far. You only want to strip about maybe 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch at the most. And kind of twist the threads a little bit. And it makes it easier to put the connectors on there like that. And we'll go ahead and do that and put that on this side. Now I like to use a white wire coming from the device, going to the device, so I know that that wire is going to like the amplifier or something. So I'm going to tip this over here. Now I want this switch here to go to the amplifier, and I want the left switch to go to turn on the controller here. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn that back over. So we need a small wire, jumper wire, to go from here to the hot right there. So what we're going to do is go ahead and just kind of measure it like that and cut it. And we're going to put a connector on both ends. So go ahead and strip it, twist it, and go ahead and do the other side since your strippers are already in your hand. And go ahead and flip it and twist it. And we're going to go ahead and put a connector on right here, like that. And take our crimpers. And again, you can use the more or less expensive crimpers you can get at the hardware store or the auto parts store. They work just fine. I have problems with my hands because I build so many, and also it's just you get a better crimp with the ratcheting connectors here because it ratchets. You're not using just all your full strength. Like see right now, it's locked in place. See, so I just got to do one more squeeze, and it locks and opens up. So we're going to go ahead and plug this into our another silver terminal right there, and go ahead and plug it into the positive side right there. And that's going to take, when you flip this switch, that's going to take power to the voltage meter and the USB port. Okay, now we need a white wire to run our amplifier, so we'll go ahead and do that. Oh, about yay long, because the amplifier is going to be sitting on the wall. You know, I think this video is going to be 3 parts. I hate to do that, but I can't have the video go more than an hour, and this is taking a little longer than I thought. And go ahead and put our connector on there. And go ahead and wire it in like that. And now we need 3 ground wires. So we need a ground wire to go from here to the ground, and the 2 ground wires for the switches. So what I like to do is I like to use a different color than just black. I like to use black with anything to do with the battery. So you can use black and whites, whatever you'd like to do. I'm going to go ahead and use a blue wire since it did come. So I'm going to go ahead and make it about yay long. I'm going to go ahead and cut 3 of them, all about approximately the same length. So I'm going to go ahead and use the first one as my measurement here, and cut the second one, and then the third one. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and strip it again about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Twist it and put our connector on, and go ahead and crimp that down, and go ahead and plug it in our ground right there on our brass terminal, and we're going to do the same for the other 2. So while I'm doing this, just wanted to see if you guys would do me a favor in the comments. Tell me how you found my channel. Did it come up on your feed where it was a suggested video? Did somebody tell you about my videos? Or did you were you searching out how to build a boombox and just came across it? I'm just curious how people hear about me. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put the ground right there, and go ahead and do the last blue wire. Alrighty. And let's go ahead and put our connector on there like that. And put our crimper on. And get ready to crimp that thing down. And just like that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're halfway there. We have the lid all wired up with our components. We have the switches, the USB port with the voltage meter, and we have the plug to plug in our charger. And what we're going to do next time in the next video is we're going to go ahead and wire up our amplifier and attach our amplifier to the wall and our battery, and go ahead and install the speakers into the box and get everything wired up. So I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a vacuum cleaner, and I'm going to vacuum out all this foam and everything. It sticks like glue. It's like glitter. It goes everywhere and just sticks to anything. So you really need to get a vacuum in here to vacuum it all out because you want it to look nice and neat. And I'll show you some more tools and techniques of what we're going to do. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get all 3 videos up. The first one's going to be up on this is Saturday the 7th, and I'll try to get the part 2 up on the 8th, which is Sunday, and I'll try to get part 3 up by Monday night. So thank you guys so much for watching, because again I have to edit these separately, and I got all these different clips I got to put together, so it's going to take me a little while to put all this together. So thanks for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. This is the end of part 2. Again, part 3, we're going to install the speakers, and we're going to install the amplifier and the battery and finish all the wiring, and then we're going to crank this thing up and see how it sounds. So please subscribe to my channel for more information. If you guys have a question, anything you see on here, leave me a comment below, or check me out on Facebook. You can find my Facebook page or my group called I Love All Things Radio. So part 3 coming soon. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.